Yeah, I'm good to go.
All right. Just go ahead. Just introduce yourself. Tell us a little about how long you've been coaching, how long you've been in the 3-3 stack. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, no problem. Hey guys, for those that don't know, I'm Coach Miller. I just completed my 18th year. I'm down here just outside of Orlando, 8A program called Lake Brantley High School. We play some top competition down here. Very, very tough. Every week we're seeing something different, man. One week we'll see spread one back. We see some two back stuff. We still play Apopka. Those that don't know Apopka, long time single wing team down here, very successful team here. I think they just won the state championship this past year, actually 8A football. So, we have to compete with that. Our offense here at Lake Brantley is a triple option. They run the flex bone. So, it's a difficult transition sometimes going from seeing triple option to seeing, spread, to seeing single wing, all that other stuff. So, I definitely have my hands full as defensive coordinator down here. Been a head coach previously. I got about 5 years on the collegiate level as well, top level junior college program up in Pennsylvania, and coaching Division III as well. So that's kind of the extent of my background. I've seen everything going all the way back from pro sets to, like I said, everything that we see here now. So that's a little bit of me.
So you've done a little bit of everything. You probably forgot more football than I know right now.
Yeah, I was making a push at one point to really push on the college level, and then my family, expanded and moved to Florida, and so got into education and really enjoyed working with the kids on the high school level. Kind of where I'm at now. So we just finished up a pretty good season this year. I just finished my second year here with the program. I was a head coach prior to that, stepped down, and then came over here a little bit closer to home. Prior to me coming there, a bunch of 4-6, 5-5 seasons. My first year there, we were 4-6. I was just kind of installing what they had previously, which was the 4-3. Mid-year, one, I didn't have any safeties, and two, we got hit with the flu bug and injury right in the middle of the season. So I had to make some transitions to try to keep us competitive. That's at which point I moved to the 3-5, and we had some success. And then this past year, I used a combination of 4-2-5 and 3-5, and we finished up 7-3. And
okay.
Two of our losses came to two of the top 5 teams in 8A football here in Central Florida, which was Seminole High School and Apopka High School.
So, okay.
Big turnaround in the year.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's get started. Just let everybody know we got 2 topics that we're going to cover. We're going to talk about HVAC, the HVAC counter, what you do, what coach does to HVAC and how he defends that. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about coverages. And then at the end, we'll have like a little Q&A section. So if you have a question or if you want to ask a question, just I'll unmute you, and then you can ask your question. So, all right. So let's talk about we're going to talk about HVAC. So how do you handle the HVAC, whether he be lined up next to the running back, whether he be kind of like a sniffer type. So how does that look like, and how do you handle that in the
So what offensive set are you talking about? Are you looking out from a flex or?
No, I'm talking shotgun with the in the shotgun with 2 back set with that little I call him a sniffer, but he's usually lined up in between the guard and the tackle, and sometimes they'll have him. Yeah, it'll look like a pistol, a loaded pistol is what I call it.
Yeah.
They'll pull him or bring him across formation like they're running counter. Sometimes
most of if I could share the screen here, I actually have some stuff with it. The counter stuff that I have with the pulls and all that, that's coming from a team we played down here last year, Osceola High School. another big 8A program down this way, and they run it, but they run it from the flex. I haven't really seen it. If I see a two-back set, it's primarily 21 personnel pro or 20 personnel, and we're seeing a lot of power.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'll show you guys what I have, and then let's see. Can everyone see this here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I have a little flex set up with the counter coming off the counter. You're gonna see some good. You're gonna see some bad. I don't believe in making everything rosy, but again, it's learning. Turn that. All right. So what we're gonna see here is this wing up top is gonna come back on this counter with the guard tackle pull. This is the closest thing that we see off of a wing counter. Okay. What my reads are is, my backers are called bandit and outlaw backers, and then my middle is my renegade backer. So, the bandit and the outlaw are reading off of the guards, okay? And there's traditional 4-3 guard reads where if that guard pulls, we're giving the pull call. He should be getting back over the top regardless of what he's seeing up front. So if he gets that counter, he should be funneling the ball back into my renegade or my Mike play, okay? So in this situation here, the guy down here at the bottom of the screen, who I call my outlaw player. Let me see if I can do this. So 46. This is my outlaw player. He's actually getting a little too far up the field here. All right. So 19 should be my force player. 46 should be coming right on this outside armpit of this guy that's pulling right here. I think it's the guard here that's pulling. And then I should have my renegade coming back over the top. So it looks like if we probably didn't get the pull call from the bandit backer, because my renegade player didn't get over the top, and he's a pretty good ball player. He's up at LIU right now. I think he was starting as a freshman this year, so pretty good middle linebacker right there. So I'm going to guess that as the center came and closed him off, he didn't get back over the top. So right in between 45 and 46 is where my renegade player should be. 19 is going to be my fourth player. Make sure nothing gets outside of him. And then really that play should be done. I'll go ahead and let it play out so you guys can see how we kind of overran that. And then we didn't get the help over the top, probably from, like I said, not getting the full call. And it hit us, it hit us for a little more than what it should have hit us for. But off of that counter read, that's essentially what we're looking at. Again, we're looking at, let me see, I have one here for you guys. Let's see if we can play this one a little bit better now. All right, so again, we get the counter action with the guard and the tackle and the pull. The outlaw backer, which is the backer up top. We play field roles, so my bandit should be here to the field, which he is. My outlaw backer is to the boundary. Outlaw backer should be given the pull call, looking for an opposite A-gap run through. There's his run through right here. This is the highlight, so I can't pull it. Do you guys see my arrow here?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is his run through here. Once he sees that guard pull through, he should be running through. He should be given a pull call. Mike backer should be coming top here. My outside guy, this is I call him my strong. All right, he's doing his job. I'd like him a little more square up here to be able to keep his outside shoulder clean. And then it looks like my bandit may be in position. He's in good position there, right? So that's a little bit better there. You guys see he doesn't really get too far up the field on the pull call. He's keeping it nice and tight. And actually, the person who takes that opposite A-gap run through where the outlaw player should be taking it is actually the Mike linebacker. So he gets lucky here. He doesn't get caught up in the watch. So I have a variety of different fronts as well, that I throw at teams. So, you know, it's all going to also depend on the front because we have our base front, which is a double 4 eye. We have a stack. I use a wide. We have a wide where I go double five. I still use my under and my over as well. Versus two back with a tight end, we still go tough. We go over tough. We go under tough. So I can kind of control where the ball is going to be run, and then how we use the safety also in the run fit as well. So, but those two plays are the closest to what I've seen for counteraction coming back. I hope that answers anything for you guys.
Okay. Yeah. I saw you had that little flex bone. I guess this is off topic, but I know I'll see the flex bone I think 3 times this year.
Yeah.
Are you so in the regular triple option or your midline? Are you guys still reading guards? Are you guys reading cross keying A back and D back? What are you guys doing on that?
All right, so I see triple every day. So that's what our offense runs.
Right.
I mean, in 2 years we passed the ball 5 or 6 times. So I get a heavy dose of that. I'm a big believer in assignment responsibility football. Right. Mm-hmm. So typically, if we're in a wide set where I have a 5 technique and the tackle's blocking down, all right, he's going to be my dive player. All right, so whether that's the veer or the dive, he's the fullback all the way. He doesn't read anything else. And I'll explain this to you guys in a second here why I keep it this way. Depending on what front I'm in, because again, I do use what I call an eagle front, which goes into my 4 front, and then that's my 4-2-5 look. But depending on what front we're in, I always have somebody designated as the dive player. I always have someone designated as the quarterback player, and then always someone designated as the pitch player, right? So in what I run, the 2 outside guys, my strong and my will, those guys are 100% pitch players. Okay, at the moment that they see any type of option, they are going to hit the pitch man whether he has the ball or not. I got that from when I was coaching junior college. We used to play Army prep and Navy prep, and we talked to some Bucknell guys, and they had a defense called Bucknell defense. And that's back when Bucknell was running the triple as well. And the whole key was you got to have guys designated. You can't ask guys to do too much, right? So if they're going to down block that tackle, that defensive end is going to come down. He's going to get eyes back inside, and no matter what happens, he's tackling that fullback. No matter what happens, my 2 outside guys, my 2 force guys they're going to go and they're going to hit the pitch guy, and we're going to pound on the quarterback. We're going to pound on him. We're going to make him keep that ball. We're going to pound. All right. Now it's the same way. It's the same concept when we run, because we see a bunch of spread teams up here. Right? Everybody's running read option because there's so many dang athletes. So it still doesn't change. We designate who the dive player is. We designate who the pitch player is. And, for us, it's easier without seeing the triple because we don't have that third guy we got to worry about. We only got to worry about 2. So that now gives us 2 guys on the quarterback, no guy on the pitch. Fullback is always on the dive player, right? And we designate who the dive player is. Sometimes, they have the same side zone where the back is coming straight down. In that situation, he's considered our dive player. Quarterback pulls, he's the perimeter player. So, if he comes across, okay, if we get that kind of zone action coming across, the zone action, the running back is the dive player. If the quarterback pulls, he is the pitch player. So we've been successful over the last few years of getting the ball out of these athletes' hands, these running backs, because I know what the reads are. Our defensive ends are hard on that running back, and we're going to make that quarterback pull, and we're going to pound on that quarterback, and eventually, they kind of pull off on running the read option. But like I said, with the flex, with the triple, it's just all assignment football. We're going to take away the pitch guy. We're going to take away the dive player. We're going to make the quarterback beat up.
I never thought about having the same rules, when you see teams run zone read, or I never thought about having the same rules as you would have out of the flex bone.
Exactly. I mean, it's the same reads for the quarterback.
I mean, that makes a whole lot of. You're right. That makes a whole lot of sense. Dang, I like that. I like that a lot.
But like I said, we've had a lot of success. I've had a lot of success running that at different schools, because the when I teach it from day one, the rules don't change whether we're playing our offense and we're playing the flex and the triple, or we play the zone read.
Okay. Okay. All right. I like that. Let's see. Vernon asked, do you play the zone option any other way? What about arc block by tackle to the backside?
Yeah. So the only time our option responsibilities change is doing if I'm running the stunt. So let me see if I can. All right. So yeah, the only time any of our option responsibility change, I don't care if it's zone option, if it's triple, whatever it is. The only time our option responsibility changes if I'm running some type of cross stunt, right? So I may go like strong cross. All right. If it's strong cross at that particular point, what happens is the DN is now working the force, and we're just doing gap exchange responsibility. So my strong will now be the veer or the dive player, and the defensive end is working out towards quarterback pitch at that particular point. But he's still a pitch guy because he's that force player if we're gap exchanging. If it's my bandit or my outlaw, again, I run bandit or outlaw across, or I run bandit or outlaw. Typically, the bandit and the renegade, the nose, and the defensive end are my dive players. Okay, my strong and my outside guys, they are pitch players, and then my bandit and my outlaw are my quarterback players, along with my free safety, who's my banana player, right? So he's my fullback and quarterback and pitch guy. All right. So the only time their responsibilities will ever change, whether it's zone option, triple, whatever, is if I give any one of those cross calls. So I can give aces cross, which is the renegade, and then it's just the nose and the renegade gap exchange. I can go bandit and outlaw cross. They'll gap exchange. One to be in the B, one to be in the C. B gap is the dive player, the fullback player. The C gap player will be the quarterback player. Okay, and then I still got my outside guys as pitcher guys. So like I said, the benefit to what I do with the option is that if I don't get 3 options, I win because I have an extra guy. If you're only going to run zone option, you're only giving me 2 options. I have somebody for the dive player. I have someone as the perimeter. I have 2 people for the perimeter player. So I'm always going to win that battle with zone option. What about arc block by the tackle to the backside? Well, to the backside, we should be flowing anyway. So, what are we talking about? The wing?
It sounds like who runs it? Gus Malzone. They'll go. Say they're going zone right. Play is zone right, but they'll have the H back who's on the right side is pulling back across to kick out the end. I said that's what I'm seeing. So you go zone right. Everybody's full flowing zone right. H back is coming back across the formation just to give a cutback lane. I think that's what.
I was asking about that was zone. That's like split zone arc with the fullback. I was just talking about one back arc block with the tackle. So to the backside, the tackle instead, the tackle's usually gonna block the B gap defender. Mm-hmm. Instead of doing that, he just comes out right now. He's gonna block the quarterback player.
All right. Well, if that's something that I'm seeing on film, like I said, I'm just gonna do some gap exchange, or I'll go into our base front where I'll put my DNs in 4 eyes.
Right.
So now I'm gonna put pressure on that guard. That guard better get that defensive end, or he's gonna blow that hole. He's gonna blow that option up.
And then your mic is gonna rap for your quarterback.
Well, what I use for my Mike player is a little bit different. It's the reason why I
Okay.
call him a renegade player. He doesn't have a gap. He doesn't necessarily have a responsibility. I play a lag A with my nose, right?
Right.
So if I
Yeah.
want my nose to go strong, I just give him a nose call. But besides that, he's always a weak side A gap player. My Mike player, or what I call my renegade player, he chooses flow. He can go A B to flow. So if he gets a wide angle, if he gets a veer angle by the fullback, he can now get over top of the guard. Now that fullback better be able to hit that cutback. Now if my backside got either my bandit or my outlaw are doing what they're supposed to be doing, they should be looking for the front side A gap run, which should be there. Because if that center is dealing with that nose who's in the lag A, or if that guard has to pick up that nose who's in the lag A, that center is working towards the Mike backer. My bandit or outlaw players, they better have an A gap run through, opposite A gap run through. So he's gonna run that right into a fullback. If that fullback tries to cut back, that outlaw or that bandit better be right there to knock his head off. So it doesn't affect me as much if that backside tackle arcs. Because like I said, if I see it, I'll just change the front, and then I'll do some gap exchanges with my bandit and my outlaw, and I'll put that guy into an island. If he goes too wide and my guy's quick enough, my original read is bandit and outlaw are reading those guards, right? So if that guard blocks down, he should be taking that B gap right now, unless he gets a pull fall.
He's gonna squeeze and take the dive right now.
Correct.
All right. So now the
But
quarterback
again,
player.
but remember,
if
against
that
optional.
tackle, that tackle blocks out right now. I don't know if he block your stack or your. I guess he would block your stack. He'd block our stack linebacker.
All right, well, he's gonna have to make a decision, right? There's one guy to block three. So who's he gonna block? He's either gonna have to deal with the force guy, or he's gonna have to deal with the stat guy, or he's gonna have to deal with the DN if I put him in the 4-eye. Because if I put him in the 4-eye, you better not just quick release off of him, because that DN is gonna make the play every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I keep him in the 5, I see where the conflict is. Because if he inside scoops him, he might be able to seal off that stack back a little bit quicker. But if I put him in a 4-eye, they better double team him and move him out of there. But like I said, it's one guy that blocks 3. I'm going to occupy the guard. I'm going to occupy the center. So now the tackle has to make a decision. I got a force guy, I got a stat guy, I got a renegade, and I got a safety. Which one are you going to take? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. It seems like you say, man. You got all your options. You pretty much got everything covered. If it's not the dive guy, it's going to be your stack backer. If it's not your stack backer, it's going to be your inverts. Yeah. Vernon, you got any more questions?
No, I'm good. I just, man, we see so much zone option stuff, man. I think I talked a little bit about last time. It's all about, we always chase with our ends. Essentially, he's going to take away the B gap the way we play it as well. But our philosophy moving forward really is we just want to determine on who we want to carry the ball. And sometimes we want to have the tailback carry the football. That may sound crazy, but sometimes we don't want. Like you said, those quarterbacks, sometimes you don't want them carrying the football. So if we're going to do that, then we're going to more or less squeeze with our end and get him playing, in that C gap. But most of the time we are going to chase or cross face to get back in the B gap is our base way. But it's all depending on who you want to carry the football, in our opinion. So.
Well, the good thing is we as defensive guys, we know what the offensive reads and responsibilities are. So you can make that decision on who's going to carry the ball, can't you?
Right.
One, you do that by pre-snap alignment. Yeah. 2, you can do it by figuring out who the quarterback is reading, right? So if you got him in the 4-eye, he's going to read the outside guy. If he's in the 5, he's going to read the DN, right? So you can make the decision about, is he going to give the ball? Is he going to pull? Is he going to pitch? Now, again, if we take our two outside force guys and we take out the pitch guy right now, quarterback doesn't have a pitch option. So, you have total control over where that quarterback's going. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The thing that kills is the quarterback follows that fullback. But now they get the extra blocker.
Yeah.
Now you gotta be willing to do some other things there. And that's the one thing that gives, when I've been running this defense, that's the one thing that always gives me problems. Is either when that guard wraps around and he ISOs and he leads, or if that fullback goes through there first and that quarterback he flashes and then he pulls and follows, because that's a real quick read. So that's the one play that gives us problems. But besides that, in 2 years we do our spring game, we do our inter squad game, and our offense don't move the ball for 2.5 quarters, 3 quarters. And they got Division I guys. A couple of years ago, was the first year I got there. They had 2 D1 guys. A guy from Miami was there. He came there to see one of our running backs, and running back had about 10 yards rushing the whole inner squad. So now, our head coach is an offensive guy. Of course, at the end of this thing, he said, "Go one more series," and of course, the kid runs 75 yards and gets an offer right there on the spot from Miami. But for the most part, we kept him in check. For 2 years, we kept him in check. The other thing that causes us problems is when they do that tight end wing set and they load on the tight end. When they load on the DN. When they double that DN and then they work that wing up, that causes us some problems too. But that's about it, though.
Now, do you on that, when you get that tight end, do you change your front? I mean, I know you're probably going to try to. I call it like you said, loading the tight end. I'll bring somebody down on the tight end. Other than that, are you changing that front at all? Are you sliding that front? I can be a knucklehead sometimes and not change my base, and I think it hurt us in the playoff game this year because we got a tight end and they did some damage to us. So the first time we seen the tight end. So are you changing your front on that tight end if you guys figure out, hey, this is tough, we can't handle it, or are you handling it?
Yeah, 100%. I'll go over tough. If I feel like they're going to run some type of counteraction weak side, I'll go under tough. I'll take what I call my strong, and I'll walk him right up on that tight end. As soon as they block down, he's squeezing that right now. All right. Now, that causes problems with the pitch because now I got to make either my corner or my safety the pitch guy.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, our offense likes to run that, short yardage, 10 and in. They'll run that same play 15 times in a row if they want. If they're getting yards on that play, they will keep running that play, keep running until you stop it. And it's such a hard thing because they're loading, they're loading that whole perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it tough, but you have to adapt your front. Here, I'll show you guys real quick. I'll show you guys the fronts that I run. I mean, I like variety. I don't like staying in the same thing because I think it becomes too easy to game plan. So if y'all look here, fronts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. I'll have 7 different fronts that I'll run off of it. All right, so this is just my base with my leg. All right, so my base is my 2 ends and 4 eyes, and they're playing very similar to the 3-4, and they're coming hard and they're attacking that tackle inside armpit as the aiming point there, and then I have my leg, and again my mic really doesn't have any gap responsibility. That's why I call him a renegade player. Sometimes I'll walk him up right behind the nose where he touches. Him and the nose just play gap exchange. They just play double A gap exchange. Very simple. And it's forcing the ball to the perimeter where we have our strength, where we have our numbers. So if we can force the ball to the perimeter, okay, say right here, we got the stack call right here. So this is I call this Twins Open Stack King. We take away this A gap, we take away this B gap, okay? My bandit knows that he is an over-the-top player on flow 2. So now I got my free safety to fill the alley. I got my renegade player. If he feels like the flow is wider, It's not a midline type flow. He can work over the top. That's fine because my outlaw is going to be my cutback player. We know the backside A is already occupied. So the nose, what we teach them is you take that backside A. If you feel flows away, you're going to stop. You're going to stick your outside foot in the ground, and you're going to come flat down that line of scrimmage. So now, if they want to release the center up to the outlaw to cut him off, then my nose becomes a cutback player at that particular point. All right. So that's just my base front. This is my over tough. So if I get that tight end there, let's just say that's the bone. I get a tight end in the wing set. Well, I get this extra guy down. So if they want to load on my defensive end, he's going to come nice and tight off of this thing right here. Now that little pressure on my corner and my free safety to have to work towards the pitch guy, but that's what I have to do if they're trying to kill me. In this situation, you know, if it's like our offense, they're just trying to run that fullback on that veer. So they're trying to collapse this whole thing and run that fullback right off of that tight end, the tight end outside hip. Now I'm just going to go tough, and we're going to force that fullback. He's coming down hard on that fullback guy, and then my free safety is going to banana that out. Okay. So probably don't want to get up into this right now, but this is what I call. I might even do it. All right, so this is just my under. You know, we'll play between a 1 and a 2 eye. Sometimes I put the nose into a tilt. I know that's like old John Randall, but I tell y'all what, man, I put that 1 into a tilt this year, and
Like
we gave inside zone teams a lot of problems when I put this guy to the tilt, because the guard and the center have to deal with this tilt.
Take you to house, please.
So this is my under tough. This is my stack. So out of my stack, we're going to be moving. So we got 2 calls out of the stack, slant and angle. So we're going to be moving, and then slant and angle is always tab for one of these outside guys coming off the edge. So my weak side guy is smoke, my strong guy is fire. So it'll be angle fire or slant smoke. So I'm always putting pressure there. I got my over. So this is just a straight over without the tough. And now my strong safety becomes what I call a force field player. So now he's reading off of the strong side defensive end. So if that defensive end gets reached, he becomes the force player. If that defensive end gets kicked out, he becomes the field player. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then this is just my straight wide. So wide is typically, if I want these defensive ends to get up the field a little bit, maybe a 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10. And I don't want to change the defense, go to eagle or anything like that. I'll just put these guys in the 5. And, I'll put these guys in the 5 too, and I'll mix it up between 4 and 5 for teams that want to run, power, counter, trap, stuff like that. So those are just some of the fronts that I run. Like I said, I have no problem using 6, 7 different fronts. Guys, for a trip set, I got about 8 different coverages I use versus trips that I throw it offense, and it causes turnovers. Quarterbacks typically on the high school level don't see that many coverages.
Yeah. You show right.
Now, I don't throw it all at them at once. It's a progression.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, for a 3x1 set, my guys can typically run about 7 or 8 different looks to a 3x1 set, and we get a lot of 3x1 sets out for our spread stuff.
All right. So I guess let's go ahead and hit that second topic, which is coverages, which you kind of alluded to a little bit. I know a lot of people they see the 3-3 stack or the 3-5-3, and they automatically think, one high, cover 3 stuff. I know we that's what we based out of. We kind of ran like a little match coverage with the with our outside inverts. What have you seen? And then I know, well, I say, what have you seen? I'm pretty sure you've seen it all. What do you guys typically do We'll just talk about like a 2x2 set. Then we'll go into like a 3x1 set. And then if anybody has any questions, they can ask those questions.
Yeah, sure. I have some cut ups for you guys, and I'll show you guys here how I run some of the stuff that I run. I am a big believer in with the 2x2 stuff. I don't believe in the single high safety because I think it just puts way too much pressure. Slot guys are too fast getting up the field. Offensive coordinators are smart. They really widen that. So, for me, if you're going 10 personnel, 2x2, I'm going to go two safeties high. So I have a check that I call a high that'll put my strong safety. And that strong safety is a true safety / linebacker kid who I teach to be able to go and play some cover two. So I want to be able to match up. If they put four across the board, I want to have four defensive backs. So I'll show you guys some of that stuff. If a heavy perimeter off tackle team out of 2x2, then what I'll do is I'll run some what I call two inverts. So I'll bring both my safeties down and I'll roll my corners high. So here I'll show you guys some of the looks here. All right, so this is for these are basically what I run to the two back sets. Okay, so we can run what I call cover one, which is Robert Strong. So this is where I bring my free safety into the box. We'll play kind of like a quarters here to the corner. Now, this safety is reading that number two. That number two was vertical. He has to carry that. Now we're going to try to get a jam on him with the backer. Okay. To the back side, what you guys will see is when I ran this last year, I had two corners that were pretty good. So you'll see a lot of what we call a lot of lot calls on the back side because I'm bringing this backer. But I can keep this corner high and we'll run a cover two on the back side where my will backer is going to be my flat player, my slant flat, and then I'll play what we call PVC over the top, so it's post divert the corner for my corner that's over the top on that. Okay. So that is my robber, what I call cover one. This is straight cover two. So again, we go with the hard corner force here, safety over the top. I like the safety to be involved in the alley for the run game. So I try not to run too much cover two. But if I want to maybe get they're running something over here, quick screen, or I've been noticing they're catching, off play action and throwing to, the number one receiver quick. Maybe I'll put them hard and just give them help over the top in case they do some kind of double move or something like that. So this is the 2x2. This is where I go. This is a check. We'll go. This is an AFC on the field. We'll go wide, high, Kathy, depending on down the distance. So the high just tells the strong safety to go from 2x3 to go up to 10 yards and play. Basically we're playing either cover two. Or like I said, we can run that two invert off of this as well. Now, I have this guy here as a hole dropper, 8 to 12 yards. If I see on film that these slot guys aren't getting to the seam and aren't getting to the middle of the field, I'm bringing both of these guys here. So my bandit and my renegade player or Mike player, they're going to be coming. So we're going to be putting pressure on the quarterback because I have 3-on-2 on one side, 3-on-2 on the other side. Those are battles that I should win. Now, again, that'll change if these slot guys start getting to the middle of the field. If these outside guys can't wall number two off from getting to the middle of the field, then maybe I'll put a hole dropper in there. But this is my high check. Did I have some film on that? I think I got some film on it for you. So this is my safety up at the top, strong safety at the top. We go high, and then we're going Kathy. We're going cover two on this. And again, like you said, they're so used to seeing either cover one or cover three, it causes some confusion sometimes with the quarterback. Good. All right, so we get stacked. We'll get these guys stacked a lot because the receivers down here are so dang quick. So a lot of times, they don't want these guys to get jammed up. So what I do is I go what we call match. So match is basically a quarters match, and what we do is this guy will be about 3 yards inside, this guy will be 3 yards outside, and what we do is we just let them develop. So he'll take the first one that's inside and high, the safety will. The corner will take the first one that's outside or low. And these two guys will basically match up on these two guys, which will free my free safety up. Again, we'll be locked on the back side unless I want to, again, if I don't have a corner who can lock, I won't lock. I'll just give him help underneath and I'll keep him over the top and I'll just bring maybe the outlaw player. But I bring my outlaw and my will player often. And between the outlaw, the weak defensive end, and my weak outside backer, I do a lot of games with these guys here, and I put these two guys on islands. I put some pressure on these guys, especially this tackle. So a lot of times I'm bringing this guy from the weak side. But this is my match call to a stack look. So we got match up top. We got lockdown bottom. Actually, he's outside leverage, so he's going to get help by the will linebacker. He's supposed to get help. Then my free safety is free to kind of fill the alley. Now, in this, my free safety decided he wanted to backpedal first. So that caused him about 4 or 5 steps. So where he should be filling that alley right now. He shouldn't be pedaling like this. That's for his benefit because so that back right there was about 225 pounds, and he got a head start on. This is when I kind of change the front a little bit. I go eagle. So this is versus the 2x2 look. And again, the dotted lines are going to be my cover 2. My solid line is going to be what I call my 2 invert or 2 rob. So both of those guys will be coming downhill, filling the alley. And then again, that allows me to keep my backers in the box a little bit. And what I do is I just take my outlaw, walk him up as a stand-up 3. And, I'm telling him, I think you're a better athlete than that guard in front of you, so you better beat him. So this is my eagle here. So the guy in the 3-point stance here at the bottom, he should be standing up, but he felt that it was more comfortable to come out of a 3-point stance. So I said, all right, go ahead. This is my eagle front, same personnel, nothing changes. And then again, we can either go Kathy or we go double rob or 2 invert off of this. All right, so to the trip set, this is just my straight base set. All right, we can run quarters to the front side. I can run 2 on the back side. Now, if you guys see here on the side, if my weak linebacker is in the pressure, the corner has to go lock. All right. If the outlaw is in the pressure, we can run zone or man on that. Typically, we'll run cover 2 or what we call a Michigan check. So if the outlaw is going on the pressure, the corner will give a Michigan call. That'll lock him on number 1. And my outside backer will be locked on the back if they try to leak him out. All right. Or we can run our standard cover 2. Corner will be high. If the back comes out the backfield and runs a wheel, then the backer will pick him up, and then the corner could PGC number 1. So again, we're sitting on the post. We turn to the vert and we break to the corner. And then again, we run quarters over here. We vacate the flat, and unless something takes him there, and then we try to wall number 3. We try to get hands on number 3 if we can. So here's a couple plays that I have on that. And we've been successful out of that. And that's just a standard look. But this guy right here, it was first year starter. He led the district in interceptions with 8 interceptions, just off of stuff like this. So that's the corner peeking at the ball, which he shouldn't be. This is the second play here. Again, they gave us the same formation, same look. They're going to try to hit the slot guy now. They ran a lot of bubble in this game. Our guys played very disciplined on this, but that was easy pick. He got about 3 picks like that, just sitting right there. His responsibility is not the bubble. Again, easy picks for him, and the 3x1. And basically, the rule is if anything crosses his face, he picks up. So again, these teams that like to run these bubbles, I'll let my strong safety sit here. He can pick that up. If they try to run some RPO off of this, the safety will stick his foot in the ground and drive to it. And then, basically you got quarters on the outside with number 1. That's just a base package that I run from the 3x1 set. We also can run cloud. We got 2 picks off of this last year, off of the 3x1. I run a lot of this check cloud to motion. So if they go 2x2 motion to a 3x1, typically our automatic check is going to be to a cloud. So the safety will go high. We'll hard force the corner here. We'll force the outside release, slow it down a little bit, and then we bump the backers to 3x1. So you guys see here, all 3x1 is a bump backer adjustment because we got numbers on the backside. Sometimes I do what I call a cage the backside on this back tackle, and this is for run. So essentially, anytime if this tackle is trying to get up to our backers to seal these guys off, and they try to maybe wrap around and pull or run a trap, he's going to cage the tackle. He's going to get 2 hands on that tackle. He's not going to let that tackle release up to our backer. So that frees our backer up on the backside to be able to scrape and make plays as he needs to. Might run, might pass downs. We go base, so I put both of these guys, both my defensive ends in 4 eyes. If it's 2nd and 3rd and long, we go wide. So I want my guys to racehorse. Getting 5 to get up the field. And then again, anytime we run stunts, it's going stack or under over, and then we'll run our stunt from that. So like I said, this cloud check is typically to a motion. So those teams that like the motion 2x2 into a 3x1. All right, so this is a little bit different look. This is something that I put in last year called roll. Roll is an automatic cloud check, but we do it from off the ball. So he's not getting right into a typical cloud force where he's right in the receiver's face. These guys are pretty much level. So, the quarterback doesn't know who's going to rotate until post snap. So he better be able to make that read quick. If they try to do something quick, quick throw or quick out or something, the corner can come down hard to force. I'm giving them help over the top with the safety who's in the roll. All right, nothing else changes. We still adjust by bumping the backers to the 3x1. The bandit will then become the curl player with the corner on the flat, and then my renegades are going to be pushing out the 3, the low wall on number 3. And again, sometimes I can cage this. Sometimes I'll go base, or then sometimes I'll go wide as well, depending on what down the distance is. And those rules on the backside are always those rules on the backside. If I call a pressure, if I call smoke and I got this guy coming off the edge, that's an automatic lock call. If I give outlaw or outlaw cross or outlaw pinch, the corner can make the decision if he wants to go Michigan, which will put him man, and then put this backer here on the running back man, or if he wants to check cover 2 and use this backer to wall off versus say like slant. But that still allows him to be able to play versus the run.
Man, that old 77 is huge.
Yeah, he's a senior this year.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't move very well, but he is a big boy though.
Yeah.
So this was an adjustment that I made for this particular game because again, this team liked to run a lot of screens. So the kid I have up here, safety, he's a tough kid. He's up at Chowan now, but he was a big, strong, tough kid. He actually played corner previously, and then I didn't have any safeties. I only had this kid back here, free safety coming back. So I had to teach him how to. We had to adjust here with him playing low because he wasn't used to doing this. But he was a beast, man. This kid here, this tight end, he's a very good football player, and he had his way with this kid. But we put pressure on the screen guy right now on the block guy, and he did this all game. He was able to do that all game for me. So again, that's what we do to a bunch. We're going to jam up that number 2, and I'm gonna put this guy's going to be a tough guy. Like I said, he's going to be a true kind of linebacker hybrid type of guy that I have right there. At least the closest thing I have to it. So this is a stack trip here. So he's seeing he's fighting, and then we teach that corner, man. When you see that, you got to rip release to the outside. Now this safety is misaligned a little bit. He should be pushing a little more to the hashes here. So he thought he was faster than what he really was. And he's a little deep in his alignment. But that's a great individual play by that corner there. He just finished up for me this year. So this is just standard cover free stuff. So again, you have some variety in the coverages. You don't have to just be a cover one or a cover three team on that. It depends on what you want to do with them.
Right. All right, Coach. We got about 10 minutes left. We're gonna do our Q&A section. So basically, what I'll do is, if somebody has a question, I'll unmic them, and then they're free to ask their question. So let's see here. Walker, let me find it.
So the question about the pattern match, I'm a little non-traditional. I don't teach I've been a DB coach for pretty much most of my career. When I started coaching prep, and then I got into college. They needed a DB's coach. They put me back there, and he told me once you become a DB's coach, you're always gonna be a DB's coach because it's so hard to find good quality DB coaches. So I've pretty much been the DB's guy. I took over as defensive coordinator. For me, I played linebacker. I love the front seven, but I think it's most important that that DB line is the last line of defense. So I want to make sure that responsibility is on me, and I don't put that on somebody else if I don't necessarily trust them. So I do something a little bit different. I don't teach spot drops. I don't teach landmarks necessarily. And the reason why I don't is because, well, if the receiver's not at that landmark, what do you do? So offensive guys are getting very creative in terms of where they're aligning their receivers and all that stuff. So when I talk about zone coverage, we talk about finding the receiver and getting in the window of the receiver, not necessarily a spot on the field. And I know a lot of guys still coach that when you're in zone coverage, keep your eyes on the quarterback. I'm actually the opposite. I tell my guys the ball has to get to the receiver. So if we find the receiver and get in the window, the quarterback's going to see you in the window. He's not going to throw the ball there, okay? Or he's going to have to anticipate where the receiver's going to go, that type of thing. So a lot of guys get beat at times because they are looking at the quarterback. They lose sight of the receiver, or you get a shake route, or you get a double move, or whatever it may be. And now all of a sudden you got a guy running 60 yards for a touchdown because the DB was looking at the quarterback, right? So when I teach my zone coverage, yeah, we do pattern match. What I do is I split the field in half for them. And I tell them, look, one back in the backfield is 2x2 or 3x1. They only got two two receivers on one side, and we got three defenders. You guys need to, once they commit to what their route is going to be, pick them up at that particular point. And again, we all know anything over 10 yards becomes man coverage anyway, right? So the only difference is if they bring the running back out of the backfield. And typically, if he's out of the backfield, we don't cover him if he's behind the line of scrimmage. He's not a threat to us at that particular point. Only at which point he comes across that line of scrimmage do we actually, are we actually concerned? The way I teach, we're not going to be concerned with anything behind the line of scrimmage. We can rally to that. It's a 1 yard game. We come back, we play the next play. We play everything deep to shallow. So unless I'm running some type of, I have a couple different looks on how I run cover two. So we have cover two catch, we have jam, and then we have just our standard Kathy call. Okay, so we give a bunch of different looks, and we use a bunch of different techniques to try to throw off timing on routes and stuff like that. But like I said, we definitely pattern match because I don't want these guys just drop into a spot and nobody's there. We want to make sure we get a body on the body all across the field. So how do you get your D line in the pass rush and out of run fits? Call that pins their ears back. Yeah, so typically my wide call is that's time to get after the quarterback. That's time to get up the field and go. Again, if I'm calling wide, it's because it's it's 2nd and 12, 2nd and 15. It's 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15. I want these guys to put pressure on the quarterback, or I'm calling wide if I want to give some type of gap exchange between my DN and my outside backer. So either I'm going smoke cross or I'm going fire cross, and I want to draw that tackle out, and I'm gonna bring one of them guys right back inside to that B gap, and it opens up every single time. But we set it up with our wide call. So once we get wide and we're going, those tackles know they got to kick, they got to kick, they got to kick. So I run it 2 or 3 times. I see what that tackle's doing, and if that tackle's really getting out of there, I'm bringing fire cross, I'm bringing smoke cross, I'm bringing outlaw, I'm bringing bandit. Somebody's coming into that B gap. I show you what, guys. I got a great blitz that I run. It has been very successful for me. I call it Bam and Box. So Bam is between the bandit and the A-gap player, the renegade. So the bandit's going to take that A-gap first. This is out of wide. The bandit will take that A-gap, and then that renegade is going to come right off of that guard's hip. He's in the backfield, and this opens up every single time I run. I probably run it about 2 or 3 times a game. A little film on that, but this has been very, very successful for me. And it looks like this every single time. And box is the same thing, it's just to the weak side. So that's a pressure that I run. Like I said, I don't overuse it. I run it about 2 or 3 times, and I typically do it on passing situations. And I'm knowing, I know what the offensive line with their blocking scheme is, typically stuff like that. So I can set that up. If they're going 4-man slide to the strong side, I'll run box. I'll run it backside. Because that running back ain't gonna pick both of them cats up. And I'm giving my renegade player, who is my blitzer. That's my tough guy. That's the one who can just chew the gap and go. I'm putting him 1-on-1 with a running back. He has a 5-yard head start, so he better be able to beat that running back. So that's my call. That's essentially my call for when I want these guys to go.
All right. Anybody else got any more questions for Coach Miller? All right. So, hey, Coach, I really appreciate you getting on here and talking to us. Man, I got a lot of good stuff out of this, and I'm pretty sure everybody else in the chat got a lot as well. We'll be back next Sunday, guys. That's it for today. Once again, thank you, Coach. I really appreciate it.
No problem, guys.
Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Coach. That's fantastic.
Thanks, guys. I got a lot more too, by the way. If y'all ever want to.
I'm hoping you can come back on for us, man, because there were some things that I was thinking about, that I think that people would like to learn. And it looks like you got a lot going on, and a lot of football. So I'll be asking you to come back on for us again. And chit chat.
Hey, anytime. I run 3 sessions a week for my defensive guys right now on our installs. If we can't, we don't really have time on them. So I got time, guys.
Yes, sir.
Anytime y'all want to talk football, man, let me know.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I appreciate you again, Coach. Thanks, and I'll be getting in touch with you soon.
Sure. All right, guys. Have a good night.
You too.